beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Climate change. Climate change.
Mass extinction.
Guns.
Holy.
We've been following the sinkholes. The sinkholes continue to sink. First, we started out with the sinkhole in Chile, and that thing just keeps getting bigger. Yeah. Then we followed the sinkholes in Turkey, and there's like thousands of those.
On farmland. All those pesky farmers.
Those farmers destroying the earth with their plants and their animals. Ugh. Now, we head on over to NewYorkPost.com. The headline, NYC officials blame city's sinkhole surge on climate crisis.
Whoa.
Oh, we're blaming the sinkholes in New York City on the climate crisis. Now,
Bill
remember,
Gates was right.
The logic for the climate change in Turkey causing sinkholes was that there was a drought, so more farmers needed to dig wells, and so they're pulling more water out of the aquifers, which was causing instability in the region, making sinkholes sink because the water wasn't there. Like the land is floating on water or something like that.
Like water's above and water's below.
Sure. I don't know. Who knows? So let's see why. So they're blaming it on farmers and climate. But this is New York City. So let's see. How is the climate crisis of making sinkholes in New York City? The increase in pits suddenly opening in city streets is tied to the fate of the earth.
Whoa.
Borough sidewalks are rupturing at record rates, and elected leaders say there's not a ton to be done, as the problem is far larger than New York. Quote, the issue right now is we don't know exactly what we would do with more money that would systematically reduce the likelihood of sinkholes.
Oh my gosh. This is the first time.
Turning down money.
Turning down money. What is going on?
I don't know. Rahit Agarwala, NYC's chief climate officer. There's a chief climate officer.
He's going to be fired. He's not doing his job. He's supposed to figure out.
You're supposed to say, give us more money and we'll fix
so
the
we
climate.
can research and figure out what's going on because climate change.
Yeah, this guy is busted, man.
Man, no good.
NYC's chief climate officer and the it seems like you should be talking to like a civil engineer or something.
A geologist, maybe?
An astrobiologist, really anything.
Anything other than this guy.
NYC's chief climate officer and the commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection said at a city council meeting this Tuesday, referring to the recent uptick in gaping voids appearing where cement was moments earlier, also known as a sinkhole, and its connection to global warming. What? He's trapped in the 90s, man. He's not supposed to be calling it global warming. Cranes reported, quote, if something is random, you could fix whatever you want, and it may not have any impact. This past fiscal year saw a 38% rise in sinkhole sightings to a total of 3,920. What's
gosh.
What's 38% of 390?
Well,
that'd be
1,000.
That would be 1,000 sinkholes in a year.
More than 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I was slightly more than 1,000.
Wait, hold on. 38% rise to a total of 3,920.
Exactly.
Okay, so
what's 38? I was going with 4,000. 38% of 4,000, which is a little over 1,000. So a little over 1,000 sinkholes in the New York City in a year, among other factors, including infrastructure issues. Climate change is significantly to blame, Argawala said at the meeting. Okay. So tell us why.
Tell us more. Yeah,
why
give us more.
Is climate change
why
causing
are you denying
sinkholes?
Money? and tell us why. How?
Here it is. Virtually all pavement cave-ins are a result of water leaks, with 45% due to the city water mains and sewers, and 23% officially undetermined. All right, so water leaks in the sewers and the mains, but generally a result of natural drainage. The Department of Environmental Protection told Cranes. Inconsistent sewer infrastructure across boroughs, in addition to the uncontrollable forces of nature, make predicting where the next collapse is going to be more or less impossible. I don't understand what climate change has to do with any of this. They're saying sewer infrastructure.
I know what's happening.
Please tell me.
They need to revamp the sewer surveillance. And so they're blaming the sewage system. They're just starting to, they just let it go, let it crumble. And then we can rebuild with a better infrastructure to surveil the city's sewer surveillance.
We'll control them with toileting.
Another option is that the chimeric experiments of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who have been down in those sewers for decades, fighting other mutants, fighting Scar, or whatever his name is.
Shredder.
Blade. Yeah, Shredder. That's what it is. Okay, so they've been fighting Shredder.
Oh, you know what? This goes back to the Pizza Rat thing, and maybe that's Splinter there with this Pizza Hut.
Well, Pizza Rat notoriously was a meme video. Came out a few years ago of a rat in the New York subway carrying around a piece of pizza. Quote, "We just can't pinpoint that this location is more vulnerable to a cave-in than another location." Seems like you could. Seems like if you know exactly what's going on, seems like you could at least try to pinpoint it. It's sewer infrastructure and drainage. I think you could find those places. Department of Transportation Assistant Commissioner for Highway Inspection and Quality Assurance Vincent Maniscalco told the publication, quote, "We've seen brand new streets develop cave-ins and older streets that have none at all."
Oh, okay. So somebody maybe Cuomo cut corners when they were rebuilding
the old Cuomo corner cut. Thus, New York is unfortunately in a defensive position versus a proactive position. What? Vice President of Energy and Environment for the Regional Plan Association, Robert Freudenberg, said, quote, "I think what's playing out is how the climate crisis is hitting the city in ways we might not have even considered." They are just blaming it on the climate crisis. You know what this is? This is a cover-up. This is a cover-up.
100%.
They are covering up for some city funds that went to, some city council member's brother. Heck, it was probably Cuomo. Does Cuomo's brother or buddy have a construction company and they maybe cut some Cuomo corners? Now things are starting to collapse. And instead of holding anybody accountable, they're blaming it on climate change.
Well, plus maybe Elon's nanobots are digging around.
Nanobots, probably some nanobots. There's always some. There's never no nanobots involved. There's probably some nanobots.
Elon's a Republican now, so he's just exposing a Democrat city and their faulty infrastructure. He's going to sweep in. That's what he's going to do. He's going to become the next governor of New York. And he's going to turn New York
emperor.
The emperor of New York.
I mean, seriously, blaming this on climate change is the most wackadoodle thing I've ever heard. Even with the explanation that they give, inconsistent sewer infrastructure, water mains and sewers. Those are all things that somebody got paid to install while, building or upgrading the city. But generally, even by the numbers doesn't make sense. They said 45% of it is due to water mains and sewers. That's man-made problems. 45% is that. 23% officially undetermined, but generally a result of natural drainage. So are they talking about 23% is the general natural drainage? Now, look, in a city, especially a city as dense as New York City, there is no natural drainage. They have storm drains for a reason. That's part of civil engineering, is building in drainage for when there's storms. So even if you wanted to blame it on more rain than usual, if your climate crisis is giving you more rain than you expected, that means you didn't build good enough drainage in your city. They are absolutely covering up for some mafia-style Cuomo corruption. We've known for a while that climate crisis is generally just a buzzword you use to get more money, whether it's taxpayer money or you charge more for this or that, or fees, carbon credits, et cetera, et cetera. You say climate change, it's all about money, really, because money will save the earth from whatever we need to save it from. But now I don't even know what they want. They're saying we don't even know what we would do with the money. Don't give us money. Climate crisis is just destroying everything. There's nothing we can do about it.
It's got to be a systematic teardown, too.
Stinks, man. Get out of New York if you're there.
Oh, yeah, they're going to get nuked. They're going to get
nuked.
The epicenter of monkeypox. You got to wear a mask.
This is a nasty place to live, man.
I do it with everyone.
Does it with everybody. Cuomo.
I know. I don't think we have very many listeners in New York City. I know we have some, but yeah, if you're a Canarian, I'm telling you, man, you got to get out of there. We're right about way too many things for you to still live in New York City.